Okay, what I am doing is I am experimenting. I have this computer, and this is the first time I have used this camera, and so I am experimenting, seeing how it works. But hello to everyone. I do intend to um, do a prophetic chat. Shortly, and I do believe that this is the year of the unveiling. God is indeed up to something good, and there is an unveiling. We had the play, The Wedding of Anime Motors, and so many things there were prophetic in nature, and God began to speak and speak and speak on the different scenes, the different acts, and began to share some thoughts with me. And there was one thought he shared when Rutherford lifted the veil off of anime. God said there is an unveiling, and then he began to download in my spirit about the spirit of the servant and the unveiling of the servant. There are servants that are coming forth in this season from the backside of the desert. They're coming forth from least likely places. They're coming forth at unusual times, and there goes that clock of mine always chiming in when I video. They're coming forth from the other side of the track. They're coming forth from other countries, from the north, south, east, and the west. They are rising up out of places of obscurity. They are coming in. God is going to use them in a mighty way. They're coming because they're servants who have been serving God for a long time. They have been serving in places and there's been no notoriety, there's been no fame, there's been no nothing to really to the horn or to celebrate them in the sense of what man may think a celebration should be. And God is now raising them up out of the dust, raising them up out of different places in life. You might see them in the grocery store and you might not recognize one. You might pass someone on the street, or you might see someone at the airport or flying on an airplane, or see someone at the doctor's office, a hospital. You may see them at work and not know that they're servants. They are those that God has hidden out loud. Somebody might say, well, what do you mean God has hidden them out loud? Well, what I mean is, when I think about the servant, the little slave girl that was in Naaman the leper's house, she was hidden out loud. His blessing was right under his nose, but he didn't know it. She was carrying treasure. She was carrying an update, a download from heaven. Now, no matter how much money, fame, popularity, favor Naaman might have had, it still was not enough to buy him the miracle that he needed. Naaman was a leper. But this little servant girl who served didn't ask for nothing. They're servants that God is raising up in this hour. And they've been serving the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. They've not been asking for a handout. They've not been asking for notoriety. They've not been asking for people to celebrate them. But they've just been serving God. And as a result of their servitude, God is raising them up at this hour. So this little servant girl goes in one day to Naaman's wife and says, I know a prophet. If you would send your husband, if Naaman would go and see the prophet, the man of God, he will be healed. And as a result, the steps have been laid out. So Naaman goes to the prophet's house by way of the king of that land. And he goes to the prophet's house. The prophet sends a word out saying, go dunk 7 times in the Jordan River. Where here we have a problem. Naaman does not like the directions that the prophet gives. He does not like the way he didn't come out himself, but he sent someone out to tell him those words. See, we can get in trouble when we do not receive the message messenger. We can get in trouble because God has put the message in the messenger. In this case, God downloaded the word to the prophet. The prophet sent his servant, and the servant gave the word to Naaman. Naaman did not receive it. But thank God, God is so merciful. He has another servant, and that's Naaman's servant. And Naaman's servant told him, again, here's a servant who served without expecting much in return. He served, and he was carrying treasure. And he told Naaman, he said, if he had told you some great thing, you would have done it. So what is it going to hurt if you go and dump in the Jordan River, so to speak? And thank God Naaman obeyed. Thank God he was obedient, because otherwise, he would have missed out on his miracle. And so we find that Naaman went and dunked, and he got a miracle. So God has these servants that are hidden. They have answers to your life. They have miracles. But one can get in trouble if one underestimate the power of the servant, the stature of the servant, or the station of the servant. If they underestimate them because of the way they look, because they are not in the same peer group as your other homies, we can underestimate their importance in our life. Like if not careful, you can underestimate the importance of the kidneys, the lungs, the heart, the spleen, the gallbladder, the appendix. We can underestimate the importance of the circulatory system, the nervous system, the endocrine system, all the different glands in our bodies. We need them. So God has hidden out loud right under Naaman's nose a servant who has answers, a servant who's carrying miracles. And there are some servants that God is raising up now. They have our miracles. So let us be wise in how we treat people. Let us be humble and humble ourselves, because this is the day of the unveiling. God is going to allow you to connect. God is going to allow you to cross paths with these particular servants, and they're carrying your answers. So we need the listening ear in this eye, in this time, and the seeing eye in this time, so that we can receive what God has released to us through these servants. Yes, there is an unveiling, and tomorrow morning may be your day. Tonight may be your time. Next week may be your day to run into one of these humble servants that have given their life. They laid down and made themselves of no reputation, but God is remembering them. Yes, the no names are coming. The least likely are coming. God gave us the play concerning the wedding of Anime Motors, and she was the least likely. Who would have thought she would gain a husband, and a rich husband at that? Some of these things that God does, they're acts. And this is the year of the act. What do you mean by the year of the act? It's the year of the prophetic act. It's the year when God will give you something to do that may appear to be foolish, but it is a supernatural doorway into your tomorrow. Just like God gave Moses the rod and said, what's that in your hand? Hold it up. And as a result, because he held it up, people were able to step into a new dimension of God. And I was in this particular part in the play where I played the bride, Anime Motors, and the veil was lifted. Well, God let me know that indeed that was not just something to do. It was not just a play, but literally, I tell you, when that veil was lifted, the next day I saw that I too had been released into a new dimension in God. So we must not underestimate the acts and the power of the prophetic acts that God is doing in this hour. When we're in the place that God will have us to be, we can step into our new day. So God bless you and thank you. I guess this turned out to be that prophetic chat. So God bless. Godspeed. I am out of here. Have a great day.